In this video, we want to continue to look at the Cura software and how to set up some of it. So if I go up to the top drop-down menus, the view menus, which are available down here, are also available here. So I can change the front view, back to the isometric, and under the view menu I can also change from orthographic to perspective, or back to orthographic, whichever view you prefer. In the settings, I can choose any of my printers if I have more than one. For the extruder, I can set the nozzle size and material. I can create backups. I can look at the G-code, which we'll do in a later lab. Or I can check for updates. If I go to the preferences here, here's where I'll select to configure Cura. And in the general interface, I'm going to tell it my currency is dollars. And if I scroll through this, you can see there are a lot of various settings here. We just want to look at a few minimal settings. I'm going to go to materials next. So here it's picked the generic PLA because that's what I told it I have. And then over here I can set the cost. The diameter of my filament is 1.75 millimeters. And I'm going to put in my total cost. So my cost for this roll was $31.58. Okay. And that was for 1,000 grams. Now that I've added the cost, you'll notice here it's updated the cost of my part. These are all the settings we want to look at for now. So I'm going to close this. And next I want to preview the part. So my 87-cent part, we use 28 grams of material, and here I am in the preview. This here outline, this shows all the material plus this little outline. So I'm going to just go back to the Prepare tab for a minute, and I'll expand this. And what we're seeing is the skirt. So if I change this to a brim, tell it to reslice it. This time I'll go back to the preview. Here we can see the effect the brim has. Again, I'm going to go back to Prepare, change the adhesion type to raft, reslice my model. And if I preview it, we can see the difference. So the raft will print a thin layer across the whole thing, which can be broken off later. I find as long as I use a glue stick that the skirt works fine or none. So I've switched back to skirt. I'm going to reslice the part. So I've stayed in the preview, and down here I can play the preview, and we can see the extruder head moving along for this layer. I'm just going to pause that. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to minimize my settings. And here I can scroll through the various layers to see the part being built. Because I told it no support, it won't have any support. If I stop at any point and look at the top view, we can get a sense of the infill pattern. And again, I can play this for any layer. I'll switch back to the isometric view. And I'll pause it there. Once I'm happy with the preview, I have two options. I can save it to a file, or if I plugged in the memory stick that came with the printer, I can save it right to the memory stick with this here.